Welcome to Catalan News. The independence referendum campaign starts tonight in Catalonia, but it's not clear if Spanish authorities will allow events to go ahead. After warning mayors that they could be arrested for collaborating in the vote, today Madrid cautioned companies not to rent venues for Yes campaigners. Here at Catalan News, we'll explain everything about this and much more on what's going on in the country. Let's start. It was never going to be easy. Spain is determined to stop the October 1st independence referendum, along with everything related to it. After sending police to a newsroom and a print shop in search of ballot papers, some reports suggest that Madrid is even considering switching off electricity in polling stations to disturb the vote. Catalan leaders keep saying the vote is going to happen, but they're finding obstacles every step of the way.
The Referendum Yes campaign is set to start on Thursday night in Tarragona. But before that, an unexpected actor appeared on the scene, Jean-Claude Juncker. In an unprecedented statement, the European Commission President admitted that Brussels would respect a yes result in the Catalan referendum on independence.
C'est évident que si un oui à l'indépendance de la Catalogne voyait le jour, à voir, nous respecterons ce choix. Mais la Catalogne ne pourra pas devenir le lendemain matin, le jour après le vote, membre de l'Union européenne.
His words came only hours after some 27 MEPs urged him to react to the action Spain is taking against mayors. Yet Juncker is not the only international figure to refer to Catalonia. A US government spokesperson said that Washington would negotiate with whatever entity comes out of the referendum. But Spain is not giving in. While a Spanish vice president said that her government will fight the referendum campaign, the Attorney General filed a lawsuit against the election board members. Meanwhile, Spain's post office called on its employees not to help send material related to the vote, as a mayor of a major Catalan city alleged that a Madrid representative had intimidated council employees in phone calls. She is one of the 75% of Catalonia's mayors that openly support the referendum, all of whom are being investigated by the Attorney General. Nevertheless, after initial hesitancy, the capital, Barcelona, has finally agreed what sites in the city will be used as polling stations on October the 1st. Despite the pushback from Spain, the Catalan government is still determined to open polling stations on October the 1st. In fact, today it announced that 55,000 people have been randomly selected as polling agents.
The Catalan government is disobeying the Spanish constitutional court ban on the referendum by going ahead with the campaign, and today has taken yet another step in that direction. The Catalan Ministry of Economy will no longer send Madrid weekly reports about its spending. The economy minister sent a letter to Madrid saying that the spending reports amounted to political control. He argued that this doesn't make sense following Parliament's decision to organize the independence vote. Madrid wanted the reports to avoid any money being spent precisely on that referendum. Let's continue now here at Catalan News with an international view on what's happening here, because today a group of experts from the UK, Canada and Switzerland presented a report about the Catalan referendum. Daniel Turp, professor from the University of Montreal, is here with us to answer some of the questions about the report. Professor Turp, the report says that the referendum law complies with international standards, but Spain says it's illegal and vows to stop it. Will the international community say something?
Well, the states of the international community tend not to intervene in what they say are domestic affairs, especially before a referendum is held. So you cannot expect that other countries do react. The reaction will come after the referendum, when the will of the people is known, because there has been a referendum. But you know what our report says is that the law that was adopted in the Catalan Parliament is consistent with all the international standards when it comes to referendums, because Mr. Gvortrup, my colleague, looked carefully at all these laws adopted in the past, and what the Catalan Parliament has done is very consistent with everything that has been done in the past in legal referendums.
How can the Catalan government guarantee that the referendum still complies with international standards if Spain obstructs its organization?
Well, you know, the Catalan government has adopted a law that has a great respect for the standards. It's up to the Catalan government to implement that law. If another government tries to stop the Catalan government, obviously it won't be the Catalan government's fault that these standards will not have been, you know, respected. Obviously, the better way to make sure these standards are respected is to let the vote occur.
Quebec organized 2 independence referendums, and Scotland organized one too. Do you think these are interesting precedents for Catalonia?
Yes, I think in these 2 developed democratic countries, Canada and the United Kingdom, obviously there was no problem in allowing the Quebec people or the Scottish people to organize a referendum, because I guess at the end it's all about democracy. It's about implementing the principle of democracy. And I would suggest that in a real democracy you let people decide, and in fact you participate. You know, in our 2 referendums in 1980 and 95, the ministers of the Canadian government, the members of the Canadian Parliament and other parliaments of other they came to Quebec and they told Quebecers, yeah, could you please stay in Canada? And they just didn't tell Quebec, don't organize a referendum. They just came and participated in a democratic fashion to the decision of the people of Quebec. And the same thing happened in Scotland.
Thank you, Mr. Terp.
My pleasure.
While some academics write reports, others are in Catalonia to actually observe the referendum. A group of experts from 6 groups have been accredited as international observers of the vote and are already in Catalonia to supervise all the preparations and the actual referendum.
We are here at this early date already in order to check on the quality of this whole process, the preparations and the conduct of the event of October 1st.
Now, a change of topic. Barcelona is fighting hard against air pollution, which causes 500,000 deaths in Europe every year. Boosting public transport and greener cars are only some of the easy steps that are being taken, but more needs to be done, especially on days with the highest level of pollution.
Cars, cars, and more cars. Barcelona is an extremely busy city, which, along with its geography, means it has poor air quality. Most of the city's residents are exposed to levels of pollution that surpass those recommended by the World Health Organization. In fact, 659 deaths could be prevented every year if those levels were respected. In February, the European Commission even threatened to take the city to court for failing to improve air quality. Yet, the Catalan authorities have begun to take action. The government aims to boost public transport during emergency air quality alerts. Among other measures, buses will have dedicated lanes on the city's main access roads, while more trains, metros and buses will also be available.
El nostre missatge no va adreçat només a aquells que tenen els cotxes més contaminants, sinó al conjunt de ciutadans. I totes les mesures de reforç del transport públic van adreçats en primera instància en aquells vehicles que restringirem, però també interpel·lem el conjunt de la societat.
The Catalan government hopes to reduce the number of private vehicles entering the city by 130,000 and aims to encourage up to 350,000 new users onto public transport. These new measures are part of a broader effort to reduce air pollution in Barcelona. Also from December the 1st, cars older than 20 years old will not be allowed into Barcelona or some 40 other nearby towns that also come under the emergency conditions. These provisional restrictions will become permanent by 2019.
From time to time, we would all like to experience things as children again, to feel that innocence, to get back to that special way of seeing and feeling. Now, a new exhibition in the town of Girona in northern Catalonia invites us to do exactly that.
Do you remember what emotions felt like when you were a child? This is the question that CaixaForum Girona's new exhibition wants us to ask ourselves. Its name is Cinema and Emotion, a voyage into childhood. Done in collaboration with the Cinématique Française archive organization, it features 300 timeless films from all over the world. The exhibition wants the viewer to revisit the history of cinema through the eyes of a child, whether they are grown-ups yet or not. Museum goers will be able to see various loop clips from famous and lesser-known films, from Jurassic Park to François Truffaut classics. These shorts are organized in a way to elicit one of 7 emotions: joy, anger, laughter, tears, fear, courage and enthusiasm.
Les cares, les expressions corporals, les paraules, hi ha de tot. És un ventall d'exemples entre fotografies, entre fragments de pel·lícules, perquè realment els nens que ens visitin l'exposició i els pares i els familiars i els adults i els adolescents siguin conscients de com es representen i com s'expressen aquestes emocions que explicàvem a la pantalla i a la vida real també.
Visitors will also be able to go behind the scenes with various materials like storyboards, drawings, photos, posters and costumes. The exhibition was well received when it ran in Paris. Now it's been brought to Girona as a gift. The exhibition is free and will be open until January 14.
And with this, we finish today's show. But before we go, let me introduce you to another artist of our country, Marina Rodés, who recently released her new album. Enjoy and see you tomorrow.
Sin cesar las persiguió.